Thank you very much for having me here today. Really excited to share with you. It's going to be more like a summary of what's new in Zoho CRM. And I can summarize whatever I was going to tell you today. I can summarize that it's just one slide. Everything. It's almost everything. I'm a marketing guy, and marketing guys like hyperboles. So I'm not going to say everything, but I'm going to say almost everything. Can anybody guess what didn't change? Customer service? Well, that hopefully improved for the better. Price? More or less. One of the things that whenever we have a new customer come on board, whenever somebody discovers Zoho CRM, the first thing they mention when they see the product is, your UI looks awesome. It's so simple, it's so easy to use. And we didn't change that. And I wanted to just take a moment to recognize that fact, because it's something that we are quite proud of, as we have tens of thousands of customers using our product every day. And we are very happy how we keep adding new features, new functionalities, new benefits to the product, yet the product remains very accessible, very easy to use for all of our customers. Now, we got that out of the way, so now let's talk about what did change, or what is new in Zoho CRM. Zoho CRM is the smartest CRM around. And we're actually quite proud of this statement. We make Zoho CRM so you can sell smarter, better, and faster. And smarter is certainly the first thing that we try to do for you. So earlier this year, we introduced Zia Voice. And this is the first conversational AI for sales teams. We are very proud of this fact. We are the only CRM on the market that is able to do this today. So what can you do with Zia? As BA was saying just a few minutes ago, there's two ways in which you can interact with Zia. One, you can interact with Zia through chat. As you know, in the bottom of the screen of Zoho CRM, there's a chat bar that you can use to chat with your colleagues, right? We're also added a functionality to chat with Zia, to interact with Zia via text. And in addition to that, you can also ask questions via voice on your cell phone. On the CRM mobile app, press the Zia button and ask any question that you have for Zia. I was discussing with one person during the launch of Zia, and this person asked me, why did you enable chat via text, right? It's so much easier to just chat and ask. And we did this for a couple of reasons. The first one is Zia Voice is so powerful. You can literally ask her anything you want, right? You can ask her, hey, what's my revenue last year? You can ask her, when is this deal going to close? You can ask her, how much money do I have in the bank, right? So some of these questions you probably do not want to broadcast if you're in Starbucks or at the office, and you probably want to get a little more sort of private response. So that's one good reason. The other one is Zia Voice is interactive both in the mobile app and also on your desktop. That means you not only speak commands to Zia, but she also replies and asks for clarification about, here are the options that you have for this, here's the chart that you requested, etc., etc. How do you do this? So Zia Voice comes with pre-built skills out of the box that you can use to interact with her. And in addition, you can also build your own skills and intents so that it fits anything that you're trying to do. For example, place an order, right? Obviously, every business is different. If you want to place a customer order, there are multiple different things that you might need to go through in order for you to complete an order using just voice, right? So that's one scenario that you can configure with Zia Voice. But actually, Zia Voice wasn't our first product in the AI, artificial intelligence arena. We actually launched this maybe 18 months ago with Zia, our umbrella term for all of our AI activities, and Zia is our AI-powered sales assistant. And we introduced Zia in 2017 with a few capabilities around prediction and letting you know when was the best time to contact a customer, et cetera, et cetera. This year, as I said, we introduced Zia Voice. Not only that, we also made all of Zia even smarter. How so? For example, now Zia is able to predict deals closing and lead conversion, looking at a number of factors, right? It looks at the history that your business has with a particular kind of deal. It looks at the amount. It looks at the geography. It looks at your track record. It looks at seasonality, right? It takes into account all of these factors. And as Zia gets to know your business better, she is able to make predictions. And as you can see, we put a score, right? From 0 to 100 of how likely is your deal to close or your lead to convert, right? Not only you can see this on a per deal basis, but if you have a bunch of deals coming up, you can also filter based on this. Imagine it's the end of the quarter, right? Of all the deals that I have going on, show me the ones that have a probability bigger than 85, right? So I can focus on those first. So that's one thing we did with Zia. The other thing is Zia learns to identify customer sentiment included in the emails that they send to you. And it basically assigns one of three scores. Is the customer happy? Is the customer unhappy? Or there's a neutral tone to it. Likewise, with deal prediction, you can see this on an individual email level. But again, that is maybe not as helpful. What is really helpful is you can go in and look at all your emails. And if you are in a high volume business, and believe me, at Zoho, we're in a high volume business, you can look at all the emails that you got the day before, the night prior, and say, show me all the emails that I got from customers where the customer is not happy. Or you can do a compound filter and say, show me all the emails from customers where the customer is not happy that are supposed to close this quarter. Or show me all the emails where the customer is not happy that are supposed to close this quarter and are worth more than $1,000. Right? You can do all sort of those things thanks to our filters and also thanks to the advances we made in Zia. Another improvement or another addition we made for Zia is workflow analysis. Right? So when you have a workflow and you're sending a bunch of leads through it, right? And then suddenly you make a change. Now Zia is able to tell you how is this change affecting your workflow. And it can do so in a number of ways, primarily two. The first one is it is able to tell you because of the rules that you have for your workflow and how the rules get executed and how you send records through this workflow, you might be processing more or less records after you make a change. So after you introduce a change and it's been live for a few days, Zia comes back to you and she tells you, well, you know what? Now you're sending 20% fewer records through this workflow, right? That's one area. The other is for emails that you're sending through CRM. So I'm a marketing guy, right? I like A/B testing. We like doing a split A/B and sending the same email with different subject lines, different content, and see what performs better. And that's one kind of A/B testing, right? This is the other kind of A/B testing, where Zia is going to tell you how the emails performs depending on who you send the emails to, right? So this is also very helpful as you tweak your workflows, as you tweak the content of the emails that you send to customers through the CRM platform. And another great addition to our Zia portfolio is in the first iteration we did in 2017, Zia was able to predict, hey, if you want to reach Rodrigo, you better catch him Tuesdays, between 3 and 5 p.m. because that's the time where you've usually been able to catch him, or that's the time he is tweeting, et cetera, right? And you could see that at a record level, and then you will make a reminder for yourself, et cetera. Now with the new version, Zia reminds you proactively for the leads that you have live in your system. If Zia finds a data that tells you that, what day is today? 5 minutes before, she's going to tell, hey, you know what? Rodrigo is usually available on Wednesdays at noon, right? So you can be proactive and grab the phone or send that email that you've been wanting to send to this prospect. I want to talk about some of the things that we've done to help our bigger customers sell better with Zoho CRM, and we have quite a few additions in here as well. The first one is portals. When you think about your sales process, it involves a number of people. It involves a number of people inside your company, and it involves a number of people outside of your company, of which customers are certainly one piece of the equation, but you may also have partners, you may have vendors, you may have et cetera, right? How do you interact with these people, particularly around your Zoho CRM data, right? Your leads, how do you distribute leads to partners? How do you enable customers to view their own information, their invoices, track their orders, et cetera? So that's why we build portals. And portals are meant to be an extension of your Zoho CRM implementation towards those entities that you collaborate frequently with during the course of your daily business life, closing deals, et cetera. Lead distribution is certainly one example of this. In customer portal, customer information is another great example. So this is something that we have enabled for Zoho CRM in 2018. Also, another big topic for configuration and setup that we're not going to get into much detail right now. But at a high level, you can define and restrict access to different kinds of users. So you can define any number of user types. You can have a user type that is a customer, user type that is a partner, user type that is a vendor, user type that is if you're a school, user type that is a teacher, that is a parent, that is a student, that is a principal, that is, right? So you can have all of these different user types, and through our existing permissions management, you can assign different permissions to these people. You can say, okay, a customer is only going to be able to see their own information in this particular module, right? A partner is going to be able to see all of his customer information and all of his own information across the modules of leads and invoices and et cetera, right? So highly customizable. Another one that we've done, as you know, Zoho CRM supports quite a few languages. I think we were up to 18 languages on my last count. So we cover, a good chunk of the earth. But those languages that we support, we can only translate the things that we create, right? What happens as you, our customers, start creating more and more custom modules, more and more custom fields, more and more custom pick lists. So before, all of those things that you created were only available in English, right? Because you created them in English, so they were available in English. Or if you created them in German or Spanish, they were only available in German or Spanish throughout the system and throughout all languages. So what translations allows you to do is take those custom objects that you create in the system and translate them for every single language that you operate it into. So that makes it very easy for people in overseas offices or wherever you have operations to use Zoho CRM more easily. Blueprint is a phenomenal technology that we have inside Zoho CRM. And Blueprint allows you to set a particular set of steps that a rep needs to complete at each stage of the sales cycle. So this is useful in two ways. The first way it is useful is when you have newer sales reps that you're training, right? Sometimes they don't remember in a complex sales cycle, right? Sometimes they don't remember all the steps that they need to follow. And the second one is compliance, right? You want your sales team or you want your customer service team to always follow a particular protocol in checking customer order, in making a replacement, et cetera, et cetera. So you can come in Blueprint and customize how those steps look like. Right? You can say, after an order is created, then it goes to fulfillment. Right? After it goes to fulfillment, okay, do we have stock or do we not have stock? If we have stock, then do this. If we don't have stock, then do that. Right? If we don't have stock, then you are not able to create the bill of lading, for example. You cannot ship it, right? So those are great examples for Blueprint. And we introduced Blueprint in 2017, and in 2018, we made further enhancements to it, two of which are, the first one, you can now put an SLA, a service level agreement, for every step of your sales process. That is, you can say, every time a new lead comes in, if the lead is in the status of new, not contacted, for more than 8 hours, then escalate to the manager, right? If a customer order has been created and has been on the created status for more than 2 days and it hasn't shipped, then create another escalation email, right? So that's one way. The other way we made Blueprint even better is now we have checklists for a series of steps that you need to complete before moving on to the next step. And how this is different to what we had before is before you basically had one action to complete. And now you can define a limitless number of actions that a sales rep, that a customer service rep might need to complete before moving on to the next step. See, I told you everything was new with Zoho CRM. There's a bunch of new things. We have richer customization, the first of which is Canvas. If you remember, the way your leads screen used to look like, whether you sold cars or homes or widgets or whatever, it was the same. It was just text columns, and maybe you could hide some columns, and maybe you could have more columns than others, or you could reorder them, etc. But that was about the only customization that you could do in your view for your products, for your leads, for your customers, for your orders, etc. Now with Canvas, all of that changes, right? If you're selling cars, let's take this example. If you're selling cars, you can put a picture of the product. You can include certain elements of the description of that particular product. You can even customize the colors to give you hints as to what's going on with that particular product or with that particular order, right? You can say the price is going to be in red if it's over, $10,000. The price is going to be in yellow if it's between 10,000 and 5,000, etc. You can include different bits of information about whatever you want, right? Custom fields, default fields. You can decide what you want to see in your view, and we call this canvas. Another one, we have validation rules for particular fields. This is a great way to either enforce policies, like discount policies, for example, and it's also a great way to ensure that you're not putting garbage into your CRM. We want to make it easier for you to make better use of Zoho CRM. And we also have subforms. And that means depending on the kind of deal that you're putting into Zoho CRM, depending on the kind of product that you have, now we're able to surface a subform and ask for more details and even be able to associate multiple records on the fly with that particular deal that you have. Say is a contact and you want to associate different opportunities, different products that this customer is interested in, you can do that with subforms with Zoho CRM 2018. And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about Catalyst. And this is a little more of a technical topic, certainly a little higher above than my pay grade. But I do want to give you an overview of this because it's another big improvement that we made in CRM 2018 towards making CRM a better platform for your business. And Catalyst basically has three components. And Catalyst is meant for you to be able to create customized mobile apps for field reps or for any highly customized application that you may need. So take, for example, the case of selling insurance. Right? You may not need the entire power of the Zoho CRM mobile app when you're interacting with a customer at the initial stage of capturing interest in selling an insurance product. Right? You may only need basic contact details and what particular insurance product he's interested into, right? You don't need the clutter of the 20 other modules, native and custom that come inside the Zoho CRM app. So you can very quickly, with Catalyst, create your own mobile app that's going to interact directly with Zoho CRM. So you know what a SDK is, right? So we have mobile SDKs, as you might expect, for Android and for iPhone. We also have that for the desktop browser, right? So that's sort of a known equation, and you know what that looks like. But once you build that application, right, in a large company environment that is distributed across multiple locations where people may have their own device, how do you provision that application to the different people in the organization? And that's why it also comes with a mobile device manager, MDM, right? So you can not only push the application that you just created to your field team, but also so you can keep it updated, right? So they always have the latest version on their device. And the third part is what is really cool. When you think about it, when you have a mobile app, probably 80% of what you need to do is interacting with the CRM backend, and we enable that for you with our SDKs. But you may also need to have some logic that you need to have on the backend, right? Because you're accessing a database, or because you cannot perform those calculations on the device. Whatever the reason, you may need to go out and have some server on the backend servicing your client app. But now with our own serverless environment, inside of Catalyst, you can create serverless functions in which you just upload the code to Zoho servers, and we take care of the rest, right? You don't need to provision a server. You don't need to take care of memory. You don't need to take care of disk, right? You just take care of code, and off you go. So that is the third component of Catalyst. And I promise you, we have a lot more things inside of Zoho CRM 2018. This is just the highlights of what we introduced in the past 12 months. So it's certainly been a busy year. One thing that I will highlight from here is customers in finance and healthcare and government have always asked us about encryption at rest. I was having a conversation with Pam just before the previous session about our security. As you know, we always encrypted traffic between your browser and our servers. So that communication has always been safe and secure. The information that we have in our servers is also pretty hard to get to our servers, even physically or even logically, right? But just to be safe, we also give you the option to encrypt the data when it's sitting in the database, right? And that's just another level of protection for the sensitive data that you have in your CRM that we're very proud about for Zoho CRM. So with that, thank you very much.